Hello, here we are today, and we're going to look at Genesis chapter 13, and it's entitled Abram and Lot Separate. So Abram went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abram had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold. From the Negev he went from place to place, until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, but the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great, and they were not able to stay together. And quarrelling arose between Abram's herdsmen and the herdsmen of Lot. Abram's herdsmen and the herdsmen of Lot. The Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land at that time. So Abram said to Lot, "Let's not have any quarrelling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine, for we are brothers. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. And if you go to the right, I'll go to the left." Lot looked up, and he saw that the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, towards Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan, and set out towards the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain, and pitched his tents near Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, "Lift up your eyes from where you are, and look north and south, east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you." So Abram moved his tents and went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he built an altar to the Lord. So that's the end of our reading for today. It's a good reading. It's a reading where we see Abram and Lot, two brothers that had accumulated great wealth, gold, silver, and livestock. But we see here that there were two problems. The first problem was that Abram called on the name of the Lord. It wasn't a problem for Abram, but it was a problem for Lot, because we don't recall anywhere in this reading that Lot called on the name of the Lord. And the other problem was that they began to argue. And they argued about who had what, who was going to go where, who was going to do what. And I believe that they also argued because they had huge amounts of possessions and wealth. And perhaps a little bit of greed had come between the two of them. But Abram was very gracious, and he said to Lot, you go to the right and I'll go to the left. Or if you go to the left, then I'll go to the right. And you choose whichever way you decide to go, and I'll go in the opposite direction. So Lot made his decision by what he saw. And it's important that as Christians, we don't just look at what's in front of us, but God gives us vision and insights into where we should go, what we should do, and how we should do it. Our lives shouldn't just be focused on what money we can earn, what houses we can have, or what cars we can drive. And it's interesting that God blessed Abram. Although he went to the not quite so, not such a good place. And we see that Lot went across to the Jordan, and he went to a place in verse 10 that was watered like the garden of the Lord, which would have been the Garden of Eden. But we see also the blessing of God come upon Abram. And he says to him that your offspring will be like the dust. And if anyone can count the dust, you'll be able to count your offspring. So it's really, really important that we develop and harness, firstly, a good relationship with God, and also good relationships within our families and our friendship groups. Thanks for listening. All the best. Have a great day. And I'll speak to you again soon.